I'm tired of you finding reasons why you just could not complete the catch. Maybe the fact is you're just not that good. That in fact you are a wide receiver 3 when there is talent around you, and when the pressure is high, you crumble. No matter what the reason, I expect more than the wind took it. We all watch the TV. We have the evidence, and don't act like this fan base is stupid. Nelson Aguilar, you are going to get our first ChadBurn.
ChadBurn.
Oof, I'm feeling alright.
Welcome to the ChadBurn Show, brought to you by M. Chad Baldwin.
Welcome to the ChadBurn Show. I am your host, M. ChadBurn, and running the behind the scenes, as always, is our wonderful producer, Julien Renvoise. Julien, say hello. Well, folks, it's great to have you back here for another episode of the ChadBurn Show. I think we're going to stay a little close to home today in the topics I wanted to cover. I think we'll do a little bit of an Eagles post-mortem to start us off, since we had a bit of a disappointing game last week against the New England Patriots, followed by a quick discussion on college football and the college sports scene, since it's a bit different between, I would say, Canada and the States. And as well as since we have kind of the run on college football, playoffs are about to start soon, and the rankings and everything's becoming really important. I thought it was worthwhile giving a quick mention. And I think we'll finish it up with a new segment of the show called ChadBurn's Burn List, to give you kind of the people that have been on my mind and really bothering me for the last week. So without further ado, I think we'll get right into it for the Eagles post-mortem. Last Sunday, we had the Philadelphia Eagles, our wonderful, loyal birds, going up against the notorious empire of the New England Patriots. A rerun of the Super Bowl in which the Eagles won their first Super Bowl, Super Bowl 52. We were finally getting the matchup we wanted to see between the birds and the Patriots with a healthy Wentz. It has been that way they haven't played since the Super Bowl. It was something that we wanted to kind of get a chance to see how could Wentz stand up against a very good defense. Could these Eagles this year take on an elite defensive team? And will the defense stand up against a quarterback that is, one of the greatest of all time in Tom Brady? I think first off, we all assume that, what the real struggle would be the defense holding it up against Tom Brady. Well, in the end, that was the most impressive part. The defense held Tom Brady, having him on the highest, I think it was 15 incomplete passes in the game. That's the highest he's ever done. He is one of the most accurate passers of all time because he is a quick thrower. The ball is out in seconds, and he's hitting routes that are usually short across the middle, some out routes, usually 10 to 15 yards. He does do the deep ball, but that's only in certain situations that he sees advantageous to him. So we assumed with the kind of depleted secondary that we had that would be taken advantage of. That Tom Brady, between every snap, would know what he's seeing in front of him and be able to take full advantage of our, kind of weak secondary and the linebackers who haven't been that great in pass coverage. Well, who did you know? Jalen Mills, Ronald Darby, McLeod, they all showed up. This was an impressive stance from the defense that has been taking crap all year. We have been saying that this is the Achilles heel of the Eagles team, that we can't rely on any of the secondary. Well, what do you know? They show up. To have probably one of the most impressive defensive performances we have seen all year from this team. And they did what I told them they had to do, which is hold the team of the Patriots under 20 points. I said if we could hold them under 20 points, this would give us a position to win the game. And the Eagles come out firing on offense. We go down and we take a 10-point lead in the first half. This is something, obviously the Eagles haven't been able to do, scoring in the first quarter, taking the lead in the first half, going into the second half with a strong lead and being confident in ourselves. The Eagles did a lot of that. Like I said, they had that lead going into it. But what happened? After getting those 10 points, the Eagles, for whatever reason, decided that they didn't want to play offense anymore. The play calling that was so dynamic and able to take advantage of the weaknesses in the New England defense in the first few drives of the game disappeared. We had 40 passes and 21 rush plays. Again, a 2-to-1 ratio that is not favor the Eagles. We said this going into this game that in order to win, to take advantage of the New England Patriots, we needed to run the ball. We wanted to see one of our running backs have 20-plus rushes to their name alone. I wanted Jordan Howard. He wasn't healthy, but at least could have done Miles Sanders or Ajayi. Instead, we're running up back scrubs like these backups and Boston Scott, who I think he can be something later down the road and possibly could be a great return man, a special teams player, but is not ready to be taking the ball and taking between the tackles against a team like the Patriots. That's the time to shine for Miles Sanders, for your new acquisition in Jay Ajayi, who's been training all off season. And I get it. We lost Lane Johnson. That was a big blow. The line started looking weak. There were 5 sacks on Carson Wentz. So obviously we weren't able to run the ball the same way we wanted to. But to give up so early in that game, we're throwing all of a sudden these passes that are ridiculous, that are, hard to complete because of a wide receiver core that can't get separation. You see every pass that Carson Wentz throws in there's a cornerback on top of the wide receiver. They can't get away. Now, I will say this was not Carson Wentz's best game. Carson Wentz went 20 for 40 with 214 yards and 1 TD, but he had 5 sacks with a QBR of 38.2. So while you see that he got the yards, he got 1 touchdown, the efficiency in his game was terrible. There were so many 3-and-outs where he missed wide open receivers. He overthrew, he hit it in the ground, he held on to the ball too long. We know that Carson likes to hold on to the ball because he wants to make big plays down the field. But he just can't hold on for that long against a defense like that. That defense is going to get to him. With a line that was already losing people and Peters late in the game and Johnson early, you knew you only had about 2 seconds to get rid of the ball. And instead, we had these complicated play calls coming from the offense that involved too much time for it to develop. Dougie P, Mike Rowe, whoever is calling the offense needed to read this and understand that they had to get the ball out quickly. They had to tell Carson, we're running slant routes, we're running out routes, we're going short posts, we're not going to go deep. But instead, they have constant deep plays that they try and throw, and Carson's overthrowing or his wide receivers are dropping the ball. And don't get me started on Nelson Aguilar with the 4th and 10 play, which is already a terrible position to be in. Carson throws his probably best pass of the game to the back of the end zone where only the wide receiver could catch it, and he couldn't track the ball. It hit his hands, it falls out, and he's blaming the ground. And we'll get more into Aguilar later because I'm fed up with this player. But this is just not an Eagles team that can rely on a deep passing threat or a passing game dominant. It's just not going to happen. We need to get the ball running. We need to rush the ball. We need to have our running backs feeling it, getting the heat, being able to get pressure 3-4 yards at a time. That's what we need to do. But Doug Peterson continues to abandon it, and he leaves me questioning where's this confident Dougie P that we saw in 2017? Was it all an illusion with Frank Reich and DiFilippo? Is it Mike Rowe? Do we need someone to check his instincts, his automatic feelings to go straight for the deep pass or these complicated routes? There's just no creativity. There's no screens. There's no RPOs. There's no crossing mesh routes. There's nothing in the flats. I just don't get it. I don't know why Dougie is doing this to us. But I won't stand here and make excuses for Carson Wentz. He had a bad game. So in that game where we lost 17-10, where we had in the possession at the end to go down and win, we want to see Carson Wentz not able to get these game-winning drives. And maybe it just takes time, it takes maturity. I know if we look at stats, and it's really fascinating because I remember I had, as my dad sent along, looking at the first 4 years of Tom Brady versus the first 4 years of Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz has a higher completion rate and a higher TD percentage. And this is because, obviously, he's a super talent, but maybe it's coaching. Tom Brady was not as successful statistically in his first 4 years as Carson Wentz, but he had a lot more success winning games. So what's the missing piece? I know we want to blame Wentz, but obviously there's something else there. We have the quarterback talent. There's just the piece around that's not working. The play calling is abysmal. So I am going to put the weight of this game on the coaches, and they need to come out big in this Seahawks game. If we don't win this game, I mean, obviously we have to win out, but this is a big game to win to possibly get an advantage against the Cowboys. Because if we don't win this division, we're not getting the wild card. We're not getting the playoffs. So it's coming up right now. 6 games, must wins. If they lose here, sure, maybe we win in the next 5 straight, but we need to start winning. And I hope the coaches can figure this out and get this team together because it's not going to be a healthy team. We're not going to have all our stars. And it's going to have to be a grinding, dirty game. And I hope they come out and play ball. But we'll see. So after all we talk about the Eagles, I think we can get into a new subject, something a little more fun to talk about. Not so much statistics, but just a feel I have for watching these different leagues. I want to talk a little about college sports in the States. It's the big season for college sports right now, folks. The college football playoffs will be soon. We're going to have the 6 big bowls at the end during New Year's Eve. It's, obviously college basketball is getting going. College women's basketball is starting up. We have, I think some of the bigger matchups in football happening now. Like Penn State and Ohio State is today. Since we are recording on Saturday, they've been playing right now. Haven't checked the score, but, it's been a close one. There's a lot of implications in what's going to happen the rest of the season. But what I love watching whenever I get a chance to see college football is to really sit down and just watch the college football game, the college game day, the show on ESPN, because it's hilarious to see the ravenous, fan base that each of these colleges have. If you're a D1 school and you have a football program that's even halfway decent, your fan base is incredible. These people show up every game and show up all year. They will donate money. They donate their time to see this team succeed, to be at those games. For kids who probably aren't going on to the pros and they'll maybe never see again, that they're there for 4 years of glory and that's it. And these people learn their names. They get behind them. They want to get better coaches. I mean, there is some serious fandom for colleges. And I say this with almost a quizzical kind of look about my face because in Canada, especially the school I went to at McGill University, it just wasn't there. There is obviously loyalty and pride in your university and where you go, but not this kind of sports where, football is all. You look at Alabama. If they don't make the playoffs, college football playoffs, those people will riot. They get so emotionally attached to those teams. It is incredible. Whole towns' moods will change if if the college they've all gone to is not in the championship. Because they're raised from a young age to support this college. They dream their whole life to go to this college. That's all they want to do. They want to go there so they can say, I went there, so therefore I have a right to cheer for them. It's really insane. As far as it goes, I think this is probably one of the most dedicated and crazy fan bases there are, because a lot of people that watch college football will also only watch college football. The people that are really big into college football, a lot of them don't see the NFL as a better TV program. They don't want to go out and see that on Sunday night or Monday night, the primetime games. They'd rather wait around for college football and to see the Friday, Saturday games. So I kind of felt like that's kind of funny to see. And, I watching these games and seeing these big fans, all their signs and, the loyalty they have to their programs. It's just really, it's a fascinating American tradition that you don't see elsewhere except for professional league teams. And I think it's also pretty cool because a lot of these kids who might not go on to, professional leagues get this opportunity to have this kind of superstardom and, fame at a young age and for 4 years. And they'll go on into regular careers and be able to do what else they want outside of it. But, for those 4 years, those are their glory years. And sometimes I worry that becomes too much and, they're, too held on the past. But I think as well as it provides a cool new community. And these people get together, they make friends from elsewhere in the country as long as they're fans of their team. And they travel well. So I was watching in the college game day, obviously the crowd for Ohio State and the whole Ohio State setup. And that's a fan base. And granted, they've won championships. They've been in the playoffs for the last few years. So I think, that's why success breeds that kind of, feverishness. But you see even at schools that aren't always that great, and especially down south, they might not have a big chance, but they're the people attending the university and the alumni will be there. And I find that also fascinating, just the alumni. The alumni continue to come back. Even after they've gone from school, they've gone on, it's been 20, 30 years, they're away from the school, they will still come back to cheer their school on. Because there's this pride to it. I mean, granted, if you're giving, over $60,000 a year to a school, you might become very attached to them as well. You might feel that they owe you a bit, and whether it be tickets, whether it be discounts to the games, what have you. So I can understand maybe a financial reason being attached, but the emotional and kind of the constant just following of these teams really is impressive. And I think college sports has done a great job to foster that. I hope the NCAA doesn't ruin it with their constant regulations and refusal to pay players. I think if they reform and get with the times that they can keep this fan base, but they are going to start angering people as it goes on. I think there'll always be loyalty to their schools, but there won't be loyalty to the NCAA organization and to kind of their continuous, I would say, acts to hold down players from succeeding. So that's my take on college football and college sports as a whole. And I think we'll have more to talk about when March Madness comes around, which is my favorite time of the year. I think it's one of the greatest tournaments anywhere. Having basketball 24/7 for the first 2 weeks is the best. There's nothing better than that. So we'll be talking, a little football here, and maybe we'll see some reaction. I hope maybe Penn State pulled out. That'd be very cool against Ohio State. There's going to be the SEC championship coming on, and soon we'll have the college football playoffs, and I think we'll bring up the Final Four and who makes the championship later down the road. But more to come. It's just really cool. I think I love seeing these people get out there for their teams and for their colleges and, continue to show loyalty. It's something we kind of miss up here in Canada. So maybe one day that'll transfer up towards us. Well, now we've gone through our 2 segments of the day. We're going to get to our now going to be a recurring segment called the Burn List. So, our new show will be something that will be going on by talking through people of the week that may, that have kind of irked me, that have been I feel have been holding us back. People that need to be put on notice, I believe, from us as fans. But yeah, so, every week we'll be doing this new show. It'll be called the
ChadBurn Show Burn List.
And we'll just get right into the people that we're listing. So, all right, I'm excited. Gotta get ready for this, get ready for my voice, get everything excited for it. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's go. Who's up first for our list?
Nelson Aguilar.
All right. First it was the Dallas catch where he tried to get open. And by the time he had a chance to track it, the ball was out of reach. I think we all saw the tape. No, it wasn't. You gave zero effort to catch the ball. If you had an ounce of pride to finish that game strong, then you would have gone all out and extended to get the ball. But hey, it would require an extra effort from you, and not 100% you would have completed the pass. But then came the New England game, where your sorry ass decided to overshoot past the ball, and even when it hits your hands, you drop it. You say the ground caused you to drop it, that the wind affected it. More and more excuses for a ball you simply dropped. T.Y. Hilton on Thursday Night Football dropped the ball, and you know what he said? It was his fault and he dropped it. No more excuses. I'm tired of you finding reasons why you just could not complete the catch. Maybe the fact is you're just not that good. That in fact you are a wide receiver 3 when there is talent around you, and when the pressure is high, you crumble. No matter what the reason, I expect more than the wind took it. We all watch the TV. We have the evidence, and don't act like this fan base is stupid. Nelson Aguilar, you were going to get our first ChadBurn.
ChadBurn.
Oof, I'm feeling already, feeling good. So who's up next?
The Houston Astros.
Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Well, obviously for this one really irks me to my soul. Cheating to win a championship in a major league sport drives me insane. Granted, we have had our Patriots scandals and scandals throughout history of throwing games, stealing signs, the works. This would not be the first case of this happening, but would be the first case of it happening to win a World Series in this heightened era of visibility, where to achieve a scandal on this level requires one to work so far outside the box. You have to actually give it your all to get away with cheating. You couldn't just try to win on your own merits. Whatever happened to pride and dignity? I get it, coaches all want to look for an edge, but why does that edge have to be something illegal to the game? And just another smear on a league that continues to struggle to maintain viewers. They should be ashamed of themselves on what they did to their team, their fan base, and the league.
ChadBurn.
All right, now let's get on to our next one. Who's up next?
Max Kellerman.
Yes. Oh, this is a good one. Well, this man just continues to look more and more stupider the longer he stays on the air. He should have remained a writer and fighter commentator and not moved so far into other sports. I'm especially annoyed recently due to his Eagles wide receivers don't like Carson, which is why they may be dropping the ball. Are you kidding me? Professional wide receivers who have a reputation, a name to uphold so they can make a paycheck and provide for their families, are purposely dropping the ball so that they can make a point to their quarterback? If they wanted to make a point, they wouldn't play. They would ask to be traded. We see it all the time. But to say that they are dropping balls that hit their hands because of a frayed relationship, boy, that's stupid. And the stupidest thing I ever heard. And so say that on national TV just heightens the stupidity. Thank God Stephen A. did come out and call you out on that nonsense. But that's why I'm going to have to hand you the third ChadBurn of the day.
ChadBurn.
And finally, I'm going to go with a soft burn on this one because this is something that I don't think I hate, but is a quality in a person that needs to be discussed. And that is
Ben Simmons' shot confidence.
So looking at this, Ben Simmons made a 3. Now this kid has the talent to do it all. If you lock him in a gym and tell him to get a jump shot, he can and appears like he did so this offseason. Yet through the first 13 games of the season, he continued to shy away from the jumper. I gotta ask you, Ben, what is wrong? Why no confidence in the shot? You had the skills, and after watching the 3 the other night, you have the form. Just believe in the shot, and when you have the space, take it. I will be happier with missed wide open shots than the refusal to actually take them. Even attempting them opens up the floor for the rest of the team and forces defender to stay true and play up on you. And when they guard you close, what do? Oh yeah, use your freakish ability to get a 6'8" body to the rim with speed and agility that no one can defend. It helps you, your team, and could be the key to getting to the NBA Finals. I'm not burning you, Ben, on this one, but I definitely am your confidence and hope you continue to believe.
ChadBurn.
So that's our final segment of the show, folks, and we're going to wrap it up there. This is how we're going to be ending it going forward for this show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we got to go over some fun topics. We'll be posting up most of the top scenes you have listened here, I should say, up on Instagram TV. If you have any questions, like again, contact to us. Please feel free to email me at chadburn.show@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at the ChadBurn Show. We also have our Facebook group for the ChadBurn Show. If you'd like to get on and keep up with the news, I will give updates as well as what are going to be the new topics of the show a few days before on Instagram. So check in there to stay tuned. Always appreciate you listening in. We're going to continue to make great content for you going forward, and just hope to continue to keep out there and love the support we get from our fans. So thank you so much. Until next time, have a good evening.